In 1952, the Abbey of St. Carta sits as a forsaken landmark in the Romanian countryside. The nearby villagers avoid the structure entirely, believing it marks the exact point where God's presence ends. The fear centers on a grim discovery: a young cloistered nun found hanging from a rope just outside the abbey's stone entrance. Within the Catholic faith, suicide is an unforgivable sin. For a bride of Christ to end her own life creates a terrifying theological contradiction, suggesting a level of despair that defies her sacred vows. The Vatican dispatches Father Burke, an investigator carrying the weight of a failed exorcism, and Sister Irene, a novice who has experienced deeply troubling visions since childhood, to uncover the truth behind the tragedy. They arrive in Birtan, a village physically and technologically isolated from the rest of Europe. They are met by a local expat known as Frenchie, their guide into the hills. The environment is openly hostile. Villagers deny the abbey exists, and many spit on the ground to ward off evil at the mention of the castle. Burke and Irene have entered a territory where fear has supplanted faith. They are left to wonder just what dark secret within the abbey was worth the price of a sister's soul. Inside the abbey, the atmosphere is defined by an unnatural silence, broken only by the ghostly, perpetual praying of the remaining sisters. The structure's history is rooted in the occult. It was built during the Dark Ages by the Duke of St. Carta, a man who dedicated his life to rituals that reached beyond the physical world. The Duke designed the castle to serve as a physical gateway to hell, attempting to summon a malevolent force into the human realm. The church halted his plan, storming the castle and sealing the breach with a sacred relic containing the blood of Christ. This structural damage is the result of World War II bombing raids. The heavy explosives shook the abbey's foundations, cracking the ancient holy seal and allowing the darkness beneath to seep back into the corridors. St. Carta has become a cracked supernatural prison, struggling to contain a relentless tide of evil that was never meant to be released. The entity that emerged from the fractured seal is Valak, a high-ranking demon known as the Marquis of Snakes. To move through the abbey unnoticed, Valak takes the physical form of a demonic nun. This form is a psychological weapon, a profane mockery of faith that allows the demon to hide among the cloistered sisters and corrupt the convent from within. Sister Irene's investigation reveals a horrifying reality. The praying nuns she encountered are ghosts. Valak had already slaughtered every sister in the abbey. The young nun's choice to hang herself was a calculated act of defiance. Demonic law dictates that Valak requires a living human soul to inhabit before it can physically cross over into the wider world. By taking her own life, the sister starved the demon of its last potential vessel, effectively trapping Valak within the abbey walls. Facing the demon, Sister Irene takes her final vows early. By committing her life to Christ in the heat of the struggle, she gains the spiritual authority to wield the sacred relic. During the climax of the battle, Irene uses the blood of Christ to seal the hellish gateway, seemingly ending the threat. The trio leaves the abbey under the impression that the evil is contained and holy order is restored. However, the rule of the vessel remains. A demon only needs a single opening to escape its prison. In the chaos of the catacombs, Valak secretly bypassed the sealed gateway by possessing their guide, Maurice. This possession creates a direct link to the modern era. 20 years later, Maurice's exorcism would become a pivotal case for the Warrens, connecting this Romanian nightmare to the broader Conjuring Universe. The irony is tragic. The Vatican's attempt to investigate and contain the evil provided the demon with the exact human vehicle it needed to escape the abbey and infect the world.